wiper on me. I got 10-piece chicken nugget, yummy, yummy, yummy. You know I be with them games, I'm a gamer girl. Whoa, you know I drink out that McDonald's cup, bro. I got the 10-piece chicken nugget with them glasses on. I have long hair, I look like a man, I look like a freaking trap, bro. Lee, oh my god! Sirens are ringing, they got me in here, they caught me.